Hey, what's up everyone, Morey, Croson, and today we're going to be talking about improving your stride length and why it makes a big difference on your sprinting, and we're starting the video right now.
This is the newest edition of the Performance Lab.
Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become. All right, so this is something that I've talked about a lot in the past and really something I've got into recently when it comes to really the key thing that is going to be able to solve this problem here, which is essentially your ability to rotate within your spine. And so what we want to be able to understand when it comes to sprinting in general, when it comes to being able to run faster, it's a lot about rhythm, it's a lot about timing. We talked about that before, and the tempo necessary to be able to really perform at a high level comes from your ability to really coordinate your arms and your legs, and with being able to utilize your arms effectively comes with how well are you able to really rotate within the spine. And so what we have here is two athletes, and you could just tell from end range of motion in this one, and this on the right side is actually his better side. We could see a lot more of the chest, and I know the position of the camera's in two different places, but you can tell either way, like the chest is more open, the spine is more rotated to the right side, and therefore you're going to be able to open up much more effectively. So when you rotate with the spine, it allows your legs to be able to create more effective disassociation. If you have your chest facing straight ahead, you're not going to be able to open up, for this example, to the left side as well, or allow that hip to be able to open up as well as you would if you have your shoulders facing straight ahead, right? So the better that we're able to rotate, right, create rotation within the spine, the more we're going to allow our hips to be able to open up, which is essentially what you're asking for when it comes to increasing their stride length. Now, this isn't the only thing that's going to help you in increasing your stride length. I've done other videos in the past to give you a better understanding of some other ways, some drills, some things like that. But I think this is something that not very many people are talking about. I think it's something that's very important. We'll see here on both sides. So this athlete, we actually had to kind of work with him to be able to open up and rotate a little bit more effectively to the opposite side because he was kind of limited with that. You can see here where he is a lot more stiff when it comes to rotating to his left side, and therefore not nearly as much distance at the time the toe's coming off the ground. Okay, then we see on this one, right? So much better being able to open up here, and therefore he's able to get more separation within his feet, right? And that's really what the key thing is when it comes to stride length. It's like how well, when this foot's coming off the ground, how much separation are we able to get in the feet? The closer your feet are together, the less stride length you're going to have. The further they are apart, right, the more stride length we're going to have, the better we're going to be able to pick up distance. And again, a lot of that has to come up with the rotation. Now, why does that end up being important? Why is stride length something that you really want to be able to consider and really be able to understand how to do correctly? And to me, it's very important because it just has such a great correlation to elite level times, right? So when I'm going and looking at somebody's 40-yard dash, for instance, the first thing I do is I count to see how many steps it takes you to run 10 yards, how many steps it takes you to run 20 yards, how many steps it takes you to run 40 yards. Same things when we're running the 100. How long does it take you to run the 100, right? How long does it take you to run 10 meters? How long does it take you to run 60 meters, right? What is your 10-meter fly? Okay, when you get to your top speed, how long is it taking you to be able to run the 10 meters? So it's a great predictor, right? Because every single additional step you take, okay, so, you know, Usain Bolt, when he ran the fastest time ever, the 9:58, he took 41 steps in the 100, right? I don't know if anybody has ever taken 41 steps in the 100 besides him. And a lot of guys are typically, that are elite level guys, are taking mid 40s, right? 43 to probably 46 steps. And then guys that are, you know, above average are in the high 40s, right? So the point is like you can kind of predict the times that people are going to get based off how many steps they're taking. So if that's the case,
then we should be able to really understand and be able to optimize our distance per step, because obviously those numbers end up being important. Same type of thing with the 60-yard dash, right? With the 60-meter sprint. Being able to understand how many steps you're taking makes it so now we can better predict your time. And a lot of times, you know, when you can get into the steps and say, okay, if we can cut off one step, we can maybe cut off 0.3 seconds in your whatever 40-yard dash, 60. That's really what I typically do, is like, all right, let's try to cut out a step, right? Where can we make up a step in the course of 40 yards, in the course of maybe 20 steps, right? Or in the 60, typically we're in like more of the 30s, right? Like mid 30s. So how can we carry out a step, right? What ends up being a step that ends up being too long, or where is there a step that might be too short? Where is there a point of a 60 meter or 60 yard where you're not covering as much ground as you need to, right? Where can you be a little bit short? And you know, from there, now we can get into the nitty gritty of what is it that you can improve. So for a lot of you guys, I would say start with your stride length and start with being able to just start getting that type of information and start utilizing that type of information to helping you improve your sprint. Of course, you know, I think our program is going to give you the most benefit, because not only will we be able to help you in being able to understand where in your sprint you're able to make the biggest potential improvements based off of the steps, based off of the full contact time, based off of, you know, really all the different things that go into your technique, but also because we're going to give you the most effective explanation of it, the most effective coaching, the most effective drills to really make it so now you can get through those particular issues the fastest and make it so you can have the biggest improvement within your running. So yeah, as always, guys, if you like the information, click that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations, leave those down below. Like I just talked about, check out the description to find out more about our speed programs. You can even do a speed breakdown. I'll do the same thing when you do the speed breakdown. You know, obviously, it's going to be a little bit less period of time and a little bit less options, but it's still something that you will have the availability to actually improve your ability to understand the technique, understand what it is you need to improve, have it really explained to you in a simple way that will make it so now you can actually make the change. The big thing with the breakdown, every time you send in a breakdown, when you do the speed program, you can get really unlimited breakdowns, but every time you send in a breakdown, my goal is to make it so you're going to get a noticeable change, a big difference in what it is that you're currently doing within your sprinting in comparison to what it is that you need to be doing within your sprinting in order to improve your speed. So whichever one you want to do, you're going to get a ton of benefits. Again, like, subscribe for the great free content so that I'm motivated to keep these videos rocking and rolling for you.